Well, flu season technically does not start for another couple of weeks, but doctors saying it is arriving early in some cases. Could be one of the worst we've had in a while. Here in Florida, some doctors saying they've already seen about 40 cases per week, and that's why we brought in a doctor for you this morning. Dr. Alex Castro with the Orlando Health Physician Associates. Dr. Castro, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Nice to see you.
So we were talking about this a little bit before, and preparing people is so important.
Absolutely.
What message do you have for them?
My message is that before you start hearing about flu in your community, you should already be making arrangements to get your flu vaccine.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's going to be a bad season or a less bad season, there are people who are really vulnerable to complications of the flu. We lose between 30 and 60,000 people a year as a direct or even indirect result of the flu, and the flu vaccine is one of your best defenses.
And I'm sure there are people that say, I've done this in the past, I've not done this in the past, but you would encourage them each year to get that vaccine. While it may not be perfect, it is certainly a good way to get them prepared.
Absolutely. You know, we hear news, and again, you know, news sells news, right?
Sure.
Of course, that the flu shot's not perfect, the flu shot didn't work this year. Data shows that if you get the vaccine, even if you do get the flu, you're likely to get less ill and have less complications. And there's the, well, I never get the flu shot and I never get the flu.
Sure,
well,
you hear it a lot.
Right? I never wear my seatbelt and I never get in a car accident. Does that mean you shouldn't wear your seatbelt? So I think doing the rational thing, which is supported by medical evidence, which is getting vaccinated, especially if you're in a high-risk group, children, senior citizens, people with chronic medical conditions, or you have a loved one who's at high risk, is your best defense.
And what's the easiest way to do that? Because a lot of people will want to get it done, and they maybe don't realize how easy it is in some cases.
Flu vaccines are available almost everywhere. Of course, not early in the season. And this year, the flu vaccine was a little late, just because the World Health Organization was really refining how they wanted it made. But primary care doctors all across the community will have it available. Pharmacies, all of your local retail chains have flu vaccines available.
And we talk about it maybe arriving early. Is now the time to think about the shot, or is now the time to get the shot?
So now is the time to start getting the shot. I would say that elderly patients whose immunity lasts a little bit less long typically have been recommended to get vaccinated by November. Generally, we talk about October, Halloween season as flu shot season, but in pediatrics, we're vaccinating now. Yeah.
And it's hard because the weather doesn't change here in Florida like it does other places, to kind of remind you of that.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. We talk about the cold, a common cold. It's not associated with the weather per se.
Yeah.
It is flu season now.
All right, doctor, thanks for coming in with some great tips as well. Have a great weekend.